Hello, everybody. Say hi when you come in. Give me a couple minutes. Say hi when you pop in. And yeah, I almost forgot that we were doing Wednesdays on YouTube too. I forgot. Like the days are just blending into each other, right? With this coronavirus and things up in the air and stuff. I actually went live on Zoom today and did some training with my work placement program. So hopefully they could find me something. Hopefully not cold calling, right? I don't want to be doing cold calling. Not only will cold calling be traumatic for somebody like me, right? It's not what I want to be doing, right? Like it's like it's one of those things. I could have had those. There was lots of times when I was desperate for work, right? But that was one of the positions I never ever wanted to have, right? Hi, Andrew. I just dropping things all over the place, right? Yeah, so I just made a quick cup of coffee and I was working on my post here, and yeah, just got off the phone with my sisters. Not too much going on today. What's been going on with you, Andrew? What have you been up to since Sunday, right? I was just trying to think here. I went for a little bike ride and did some metal detecting on Monday. I think a little bit of metal detecting. But basically, then other than that, I've been doing some laundry, right? Just doing a little bit of laundry and made a nice dinner today. It's this recipe my sister invented. She calls it mush, right? Mush. I was looking in the cupboards thinking, oh, what am I going to have for dinner, right? And I was looking at the ingredients. And then I remembered this dish that my sister makes every once in a while. It's not a really healthy dish, but I guess it's filling, right? It's like rice and hamburger and onions and celery and corn, right? Cream corn. I didn't have any cream corn. I used mixed vegetables instead. It wasn't quite the same, but it was still good, right? And then you let it all simmer. You put a little beef base in there, right? And then you add the rice to it, right? And you stir it up, and it's all kind of mushy, but it's all kind of yummy at the same time, right? I like soup once in a while, right? When I get in those moods that I want to cook something, soup is usually something that I will cook, right? As when I was younger, I didn't like vegetables, right? But as an adult, I really do. Like there are a few vegetables that I don't eat. Do you do vegetables? Like there are certain vegetables I will not touch. Like I don't like asparagus. I don't like Brussels sprouts. And I'll eat turnips, but they have to be mashed with carrots, and then I have to mix them in with the potatoes to get them down, right? I'm not a big fan of carrots. The canned, when it comes in the canned stew and stuff, I don't mind the turnips that way because the flavor's been taken out of them, right? But it's that bitterness of the turnip that I don't care for, right? Yeah, so turnips I'm not a big fan of. But most vegetables I really do enjoy, right? There's not too many vegetables that I won't try. Oh, so you do like asparagus. Yeah, I don't like the smell of it. I don't like the taste of it, right? It's pretty. It's a very pretty when it's all cooked, and you wrap it with bacon and onions, and like I can cook it meanly. Like nobody would be able to cook up a batch of asparagus more beautiful than I could, right? Because I would like steam them, and then I would fry onions and bacon and butter, right? I guess they're fattening, but it's healthy at the same time, and it adds so much flavor, right, to everything. But you just give them a quick toss, give them a quick toss. Maybe some nice sauteed mushrooms. I love sauteed mushrooms when they got a nice little caramelize going on the mushrooms. I do like a nice mushrooms. My dad used to make T-bone steaks. His favorite steak was the T-bone. He loved the T-bone, right? And you buy these great big Fred Flintstone steaks. And my dad's name was actually Fred too, right? Frederick, but everybody called him Fred, right? But yeah, he loved the T-bones, but it was always like, with fresh mushrooms sauteed, and he always liked to cook them himself. He never let anybody cook his steaks, right? Because he was very specific about how he wanted his steaks done, right? Yeah. Like my dad cooked lots for us, right? As a family, like my dad enjoyed cooking, right? Isn't that funny? I've known a couple of men who don't appreciate peas. I love peas, like frozen peas. Like you can't have turkey dinner without frozen peas, right? I love frozen peas. Yeah, I always have. Oh, is asparagus expensive? Yeah, see, I don't even check the prices because I don't eat it, right? So I wouldn't even bother looking at the price, right? Unless I was making dinner for somebody, but it's been a long time since I had people over for dinner, right? So I usually just cook for myself, and if I'm going to cook for myself, I'm going to cook things that I would enjoy eating, right? Or is more often than not, which is the quickest and the easiest, right? To put together. But yeah, I'm a big fan. I love peas, right? Yeah. Yeah, big peas, little peas. I like any kind of peas, right? I don't like the peas in the pods, right? I don't like those, like the snaps, the pea snaps, right? I'm not, I don't dislike them, but I wouldn't go out and buy them, right? Because I needed them in the fridge or anything, right? It's like me and tomatoes. I loved cooked tomatoes, but I'm not a big fan of raw tomatoes, right? Like if there's no tomatoes in my salad or in my hamburgers, or it's not a big deal for me. I'm not a big fan of tomatoes, right? Oh, I love onion bagels too. They were on sale this week for like $2.29 for a six-pack. They never go on at that price. Sometimes if you're lucky, $2.99, but $2.29, it was cheap, cheap, cheap. And I love bagels, right? But I gave up bread, so I've just got to turn this around here. This is Evan Carmichael's birthday today, right? The gentleman that I always talk about, right? That I follow. It was his birthday today, so I just saw the glare on his book, right? You couldn't read the title, so I just wanted to make sure that it was nice and visible there, right? But yeah, see, I've never been a fan of tomatoes and sandwiches. They just make the sandwiches go soggy, right? Sometimes my mother was big on these. Sometimes we had for school, we'd have mustard sandwiches, butter and sugar sandwiches. Like she'd butter the bread and then she'd sprinkle sugar on it. And lots of peanut butter. Like in those days, like the kids were allowed to have peanut butter for sandwiches because we had lots of peanut butter sandwiches, right? Right? But usually we would get a sandwich and we would get a piece of fruit, right, with our sandwiches. But yeah, every once in a while she'd make us tomato sandwiches, right? But I never liked tomato sandwiches, but I did like the cucumber sandwiches. I always liked cucumber sandwiches with nice cold butter, salt and pepper, right? And cucumbers and mayonnaise. I really liked cucumber sandwiches. But that's an English thing too, right? And in my background, English is the main nationality in our family. I guess the strongest one. We have lots and lots. Like I know we got Eastern European in our family because of my prescription of my eyeglasses is a European trait. So I know I have Eastern European. I know I have indigenous, but I'm not sure if it's a Assiniboine or if it's Cree, right? They were from the. Oh, Nancy's here. Nancy's here. How are you doing, Nancy? How are you doing, Nancy? Oh, yay. Yay. It was Evan's 40th birthday today. So yeah, he's still fairly young. I remember my 40th birthday. I remember my 40th birthday. I didn't even celebrate it. That year I told everybody I didn't want presents, I didn't want a cake. I didn't because we all did our family get-togethers on our birthdays at my mother's house, right? But I was in no mood for it, right? At 40 years old, I just I'd just been a few years separated, and a 40 was a big milestone, right? I think I was 2000, so I was 39 years old when I had that tubal pregnancy, right? So 39 years old. So I know how I would have felt on my 40th birthday. I would not have wanted to celebrate it at all. But yeah, it looked like he was having a good day. Like he had a nice pancake breakfast from McDonald's and stuff. I didn't even know McDonald's even had pancakes anymore, because I remember when I was a kid, you could get pancakes at McDonald's, right? But now they only have the drive-through, I think. I don't think you can even walk in, right? To McDonald's. Yeah, I miss going there, in the evenings for my coffee, right? I miss going in there. I have Evan's birthday card in my knapsack, right? And I didn't even have money for a stamp for the birthday card, so he's gonna get his birthday card late. But yeah, I sent him a little message just to wish him a happy birthday. And in my last post, I wished him a happy birthday. Yeah, we'll wish him another happy birthday, right? Because he deserves it. Yeah, you know, he's done lots for me, lots for me. Okay, Nancy, can you say? Oh, Nancy. Nancy, that's terrible news. I'm in the same situation, right? Yeah, my phone bill, they keep phoning me. I expect them to cut me off any day now, right? But you just stay on it for as long as I can. And I can do some kind of posts, on my computer, right? But not all of them. I won't be able to go live or anything like that on my Instagram, but I think I'll be able to do an IG. I think I can do an IG. So I think I can film something, and I can upload it on my monitor, right? On my main PC. But I'm in the same, and I'm only going to get another month, right? They usually give you a warning. They shut you down for 24 hours, right? To let you know that you're on your disconnection, and then they give you 30 days, right? The phone doesn't not work that way. They just phone you, and then next thing you know, you don't have a phone, right? Right? But if you don't have the money, right, Nancy? If we don't have the money, if we don't have, what can we do, right? What can we do? And it's important people have ways of communicating with the government, right? Like it's important, like, maybe your municipal, who represents your neighborhood or something, right? Maybe the Salvation Army. I don't know in the States, in Seattle, if they have like Salvation Army or the YMCA that maybe could, understand your situation and help you out. I know what I would do. Like if I get into that situation, I'll do anything. That's the point where I will ask, right? Because it's survival at that point, and at survival you'll do anything, right? Yeah. Oh, Nancy, I'm sorry to hear that. You like Louisiana, Nancy? Oh, Nancy, I feel so bad for you. I feel so health wise. How are you doing health wise? You didn't mention your health here. how are you feeling health? Isn't it? And it's only going to get worse at this point, right? I'm crossing my fingers. I'm taking any position that they offer, right? Even if they say I have to phone solicit, I don't care. I'll take any job and be grateful to be able to take a job, but oh, good. Well, at least, right? At least, can you imagine getting beaten up that way right now, too, right? Ah, Nancy, if it's not one thing, it's another, right? Miracles, right? Miracles. And yeah, I sent you some light yesterday, Nancy. I sent you some light yesterday, and I just said to the light, just go to Nancy wherever she needs it, right? Wherever she wants it. Yeah. So you tell that light that I sent that exactly what it needs to go, right? What it needs to sort out. But people are just going to stop paying rent anyway, right? Like, because even our municipalities, like they said, like don't use the money for your bills. Hold on to your money, they said, right? You know, I mean, I'm not behind in my rent. My rent is paid. Thank goodness my rent is paid, right? And I know I have one more month with my computer, but I'm going to lose my phone any day, right? Any day now I'm going to lose my phone. But what can you do if you don't have anything? I put some things up, like you, hey Nancy. I put some things up for sale, right? My mother's baker's rack. I put it up for sale for $100. It's not enough. The phone won't accept only $100, but my internet will, right? My internet will take $100, and then in the next couple of days, right? I have my electric fireplace that I could probably get, $50, $75 for, maybe, right? And I have some ornaments, but everything else I think I've basically sold, right? All I have of value is, isn't it sad, right? The value on this is no more. My microphone is no more than $150, and I don't think I have anything else in my possessions, like anything else worth more than that. Isn't that sad? But I don't dwell on it, right? Like, what can you do? You ride the wave knowing you're still going to be here tomorrow, right? We're all still here tomorrow. I mean, you might not be in this apartment, or you might not be in your home, right? But you'll be somewhere, right? It's not like you'll be sitting in your chair out in the boulevard. Like, they certainly wouldn't do that, would they, Nancy? Nancy, they wouldn't do something like that, make you sit in a chair and then just sit outside on the sidewalk, right? Because I saw that documentary on Seattle, right? The homeless in Seattle, how bad, like in anywheres in the United States per percentage of population, that in Seattle, that they're having such a difficult time with the homeless. But I don't know if they got control of that or not, because that was about a year ago that I saw that documentary. But it was so bad, right? That they just pop up their homes wherever, like on the sidewalk, in the parks, right? Yeah. But that's trauma, right? That generation is so traumatized, those millennials, right? And the people at the tail end of the baby boomers, like me too, right? 1961, I think, was the last year, right? The baby boomers. So really emotionally, because yeah, a lot of those parents were single parents, right? And then single parents trying to keep a roof over the kids' heads, and then the kids trying to take care of themselves because they don't have the parents at home watching over them because they're off trying to make a living, right? And then the sadness comes on those single parents, right? And the sadness comes on, and then they look at the children and go, "You ruined my life," right? Even though they didn't, right? Life is life. like whether good or bad is coming at you, like you should just try to read it the same. Just try to read it the same. And if you do it that way, you usually come out of it pretty fast, right? But yeah, and then you get down on yourself, and then you blame the child for your woes, right? And then that's when the child ends up with the problems, and they grow up to have serious problems as adults, right? Yeah, not be able to hold jobs down, having addictions, right? Not treating their friends and family well, right? Not treating themselves well, getting into trouble, right? Right? Yeah, but it's all our responsibility to lift where we can, right? So I know Nancy does that a lot. Nancy lifted me up quite a few times since I've been on YouTube, right? Right, when I've beaten myself up and was in that really gray area of my life. And yeah, when I thought there was no optimism for my future, right? And yeah, Nancy, right? When she wouldn't get me that information I needed about the churches, or, just come into my lives and give me a good cheer, right? And support me, right? When she's in a terrible situation herself, right? And yet you send out those well wishes, and then if you're lucky, it boomerangs, right? It boomerangs, yeah, sending you all some wonderful light, right? And everybody just giving, and it's so hard, right? I was listening to them today. I was listening to some documentaries, and they were saying, in the beginning, and I felt this way too, right? I felt this way too, that when this coronavirus started, I thought, good, right? Like, because everybody should feel what this feels like, because this is the way I lived my whole life, struggle day to day to day, right? By myself, separated, segregated from everybody, right? Not having money. Now everybody's in the same boat, right? Like, everybody, you don't wish it on them, but there are lessons in that, right? Like, even me, right? Even in your woes, Nancy, don't you thrive on the lessons? Like, I know the way you talk and stuff. I know you do. I know you take those as lessons, and you take them to heart, and you chew them up, and you make them like fuel, right? You make them like fuel to push yourself forward, right? And what was the reasoning in that, Nancy? That they would leave you out like that, right? The stimulus check. Like, what would be their reasoning in that? I know that I wasn't eligible for anything, right? Because I was lucky enough to have gotten on the assistance, right away. So I was very lucky when I got on the assistance when I did. But it makes it so that I'm living on a half of what everybody else is living on. But at the same time, I don't think I'm going to have that worry that I'm going to be cut off, right? If it doesn't work out well, I'm going to do my best to get it off it is on my own and as quickly as I can. Like I said, I had meetings today, some training today, right? So it's hopeful. I'm what a word. Like, we find ourselves using these words that and again, it's that idea too, right? That I think about God, right? That I lost my faith because of the way I grew up and stuff. And then you think about this too, right? Yeah. Wow, I don't understand. What is a sanctuary state? I don't understand that term, sanctuary. A sanctuary state with no federal fund. A sanctuary state. I don't understand that. Like, here in Manitoba, we have a really, really good government here, right? We have, the premier gets a lot of bump stabs, but those are, you take those responsibilities on, right? You're going to catch that flack, right? People, there are going to be just as many negative people then there are people who back you up, right? And all you can do is just do the best you can, right? And I think our premier's done a pretty good job, but our mayor has done an amazing job. I would love to see the mayor run for premier. I would love to see our mayor run for premier. He's done such a great job, right? I liked our last mayor, our last mayor too, and he got it good. But he was such a businessman, right? He just ran the city like a business, and people are always trying to take him down. And whether he was, a good mayor or a bad mayor, nobody could argue with the fact that the city did a lot of good and moved forward quite a bit under his direction, right? But nothing like this mayor. We have a really, really, really good mayor this time. Yeah, really good mayor. And what's so great about him too is he's naturally pulled to the media, right? Whereas you have all of other politicians and stuff, they'll stand a little bit standoffish from it, right? They don't contribute. Like I've seen him. He's done videos at his kitchen table with his daughter, and they have updates every single day, right? Every single day, and yet he's still supporting all the small businesses and all the communities and all the organizations, and at the same time, which is really quite special that he does. I don't know if he knows that he does this, but he's kind of cute in his humor, right? He tries to uplift, right? He tries to uplift, and he does a pretty good job that you don't really know that he's doing it, but he'll make a little funny post or something, but it has a little bit of insight. Like, yeah, he does it very, very well. We have a very good mayor who's very, very into his community. So yeah, for people to think that way about the people who run their cities or run their states or provinces, right? Who run their countries, right? Right? Like, yeah, I have no complaints about, mind you, I'm definitely liberal, right? And that's partly out of honoring my dad too, because my dad loved Pierre Trudeau, right? My dad was mad for Pierre Trudeau. And yeah, he would be so pleased, right, that his son became Prime Minister of Canada, right? It's so amazing that it can run in the family like that, right? I would like to see Michelle Obama run, right? I think Michelle Obama would do a very, very good job as president. Like, I trust her, right? I trust that she means good, and she represents family very, very well, right? Like, the homeness, right? You could be president and uphold the family unit, right? But it would be stricter, right? It's stricter. It's like I was watching a video on the different levels of society in England, right? During the 1800s, you had the child workers and the factory workers and how dirty it was, the coal miners, all that in England, right? But then you had the aristocracy, right? But they lived so different from each other. And they were saying that, that the people who had the money, right, and who were part of the aristocratic, they actually had sex issues, right? Because of modesty and stuff was very, very taught to them, right? Etiquette was very, very strong. But we're in the lower classes like that, that there wasn't a lot of privacy and stuff. So people tended to grow up more comfortable with the ideas and the ideas of sex, right? Being a little bit more open and being a little bit more conversational, right? And then that's when you found all those when the cards started coming out, and all the little different things, right? Yeah, I don't know why I got onto that conversation. I got onto that for a reason. It was an analogy to something else I had just said, like just a moment before that, right? But yeah, really, really sorry to hear about the apartment. But oh, right, okay, sanctuary state means we protect immigrants and give them free stuff at the expense of lowering my benefits. Oh, Oh, I see. I see. Yeah, here we have a lot of summer immigrants. They come up here from Mexico to pick the fruits and vegetables, right? So I know they're allowing a lot of that to come in, to help the other countries too, right? Because that might be work that other people might not appreciate, or and also they would probably be living out there and stuff. And they said they had to put them in 14, that the farms have to pay for the cost of them staying in quarantine for 14 days, right? When they come into the country, right? But yeah, and for the immigrants, yeah, immigrants here, we have a lot of Filipino immigrants here in Manitoba, right? We have a city almost that's forming as our first Canadian Filipino city, right? It was a city called Nipawa, right? And yeah, all the young people left the city. All the young people left the city, and it became a retirement town, right? And it was slowly dying off, and there was a reserve close by and stuff. But there was some chicken plants, right? Some chicken industry going on out there. So the Filipino communities were starting to move to Manitoba, and started immigrating into that area. And that area now has a very high percentage, like a very, very, very high percentage of Filipinos. So yeah, Canada might have its very own film. It would be open to it'd be everybody's city, but they would not be the minority, right? They would not be the minority in that city. And I think that's absolutely amazing, right? My neighbors across the hallway are Filipino. They have a one bedroom, and there's four of them living in there, and they've lived in there for years, since the kids were little. Now the kids are like teenagers, right? One of them's ready to go to university, I think, right? Yeah, and they live there. But you do what you have to keep your costs down, right? Because a lot of times, especially with Filipinos, right? Like, I had friends that were Filipinos. I worked in plants, and very beautiful people, right? Like, get to know them, and they speak perfect English, right? And they're so lovely. They might not approach you first, but if you say hello and start a conversation, that's all you need to get somebody who's Filipino going, right? And the next thing you know, you'll be going to church with them, and yeah, you might end up marrying somebody, right? Yeah, yeah. I used to work with this Filipino gentleman, and I think he won a Filipino Idol. It's like American Idol, but it was in the Philippines, right? And he was a nurse, right? And he was a nurse, and he he immigrated to Canada with his wife, right? And his son, I think it was a son. And he worked as a cafeteria as an employee, right? He worked for me, right, like in the cafeteria. And he was such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful man, and he used to just sing to me all day, all through the shift, right? And always smiles, like I never ever found a reason to ever have to crank or say anything ever, right? Like, I always looked forward to, and I worked with him for quite a while. I think for a couple of years I worked with him, right? And then he was trying to get his credits from the Philippines to count here in Canada towards his credits. So, because he wanted to go back to nursing, right? He wanted to go back to nursing. I think now they have programs like that where some of your credits can piggyback with you coming in, but normally they don't, right? So even if you like have a high paying job or an important position in the Philippines, when you come here, you might not get that position back. But yeah, his name was Ernie. I loved Ernie. Very tall, very muscular, very handsome, like, which was strange, right? Because the Filipinos are not known to be like big and husky and well built, right? I mean, I'm sure they're well built for their, but like Arnold Schwarzenegger type. But yeah, he was a lovely man. Yeah, Ernie, I loved him. Yeah, it was great working with him. But yeah, that's a sanctuary states. Yeah, so as it goes for immigrants here in Canada, yeah, we don't have you know too much in the way that it's so heavy that it becomes burdensome, right? And of course, like we have every nationality going on, right? And everybody has accents and stuff, right? Even next generations, right? Carry their accents on, but yeah. Yeah, isn't that? Oh, government housing too, right? And I've been thinking lately, about government government housing, right? That, maybe, but it wouldn't be much difference, right? Because once I come off the assistance, then what I'll do is I'll be going back on to my rental assistance, which is for 55 plus, right? So if you're low income, you get a little bit of money at the end of the month to help pay your rent. So when you get that money, it makes it so that you're paying the same amount of money as if you were living in public housing. Now, I would much rather live in a regular apartment, feel like a little bit of a human being rather than living in a space. Because number one, I don't like to live, way, way, way up high. Like if I have to be, if there's a fire or something, I don't want to be a jumper, right? I don't want to be that person that has to jump out the window to save my life and end up dead anyway, right? So I would prefer not to be way up high, right? But, beggars can't be choosers, right? Beggars can't be choosers. And I have thought about going into the low incomes, because my sister, she only pays $450 a month for her little apartment, right? It's a bachelor suite, but it's a beautiful little bachelor suite. It's got a nice little storage room, nice bathroom, right? Nice little cubby that she could stick her bed in, a teeny weeny living room, no balcony or anything like that, but there's a roof that she can go up to the roof, right? If she wanted to smoke. I mean, she doesn't smoke. She does those vapor things, right? Yeah. Which I think personally is just as bad, but that's just my opinion, right? Because I don't do the vapes, but I know that there's a lot of nicotine in those vapes too, right? So, yeah. Banned from coming here to get the immigrants. ICE, I don't understand that. We turn them over to the ICE, and the ICE has been from coming here to get the immigrants. From coming here to get the immigrants. ICE, like ISIS, like the terrorist ISIS. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, maybe that's what you're saying. See, that's how little that I've been paying attention to politics or TV or anything. I'm so out of touch that way, right? Oh, okay. See, I didn't know. I didn't know, right? Yeah, I just have ISIS. Yeah, ISIS. But we haven't heard from about that for just ages, right? Remember, it was like always about the terrorists and them blowing up places and stuff. Like I haven't heard of any of that lately, right? Right? Like all of that has been put down on the back burner, or maybe these governments have kind of sorted them all out, right? Or maybe they're just hiding in a corner or something, just waiting for an opportunity. That sounds more like it. Oh, okay. I get it. I get it. Yeah, interesting. But yeah, just for their own though to have to suffer, right? If you can't afford to bring those immigrants in, like if somebody's going to have to pay, right, to be able to have the privilege of those immigrants coming in, then you have to think whether or not it's actually worth it, right? Oh, Nancy. Okay, I'm going to be watching, and I tell you, Nancy, if any miracles happen my way, right? I can have a miracle, right? I'll share with Nancy, right? We'll keep your computer going at the very least. Keep your computer going. Come on, miracle for Nancy. Yeah, send it out for Nancy, right? Yeah. And we all need a little something, right? A little kindness for everybody would do everybody so much good. Oh, but what I was going to say about that coronavirus, I was listening to one of the doctors or one of the specialists talk on this virus, and he was saying that when it starts to slow down and we become comfortable, right, with the pace at how everything is, that's when it actually sinks in, and then that's when our panics start up, right? When we have an opportunity to, oh right, he referenced it to trauma during the war. Gee, I wish I could remember who said that, but yeah, and he referenced it right towards the trauma that people were getting into in the war. So but what was I going to say about that? But again, I was thinking, that was he. I wandered off on there. I was just going to go off on a rant about something. Uh, yeah, like what, like how many millions of people in your situation, Nancy? Like how, I mean, you're unique, obviously. You're unique, right? And especially even in your situation, right? But with so many other people like this is happening to, how do they think? Like they can't cut everybody's phones off. They can't cut everybody's internets off, can they? Because then you've got mayhem, right? Then you've got serious problems because nobody's communicating properly, right? Yeah. See, in my crew too, there's not a lot of family in my crew, right? There's a lot of people who live on their own and work on their own and do their own thing in my crew, but for family living and stuff, there's not a lot of that. And if there is, we'd love to hear your input. Just leave it in the comments below, right? And Andrew, make sure that you go into last week's live, Andrew, because Sharon left a comment. I have to go in there and reply to, but she heard that we were asking after her and she left a comment, and I meant to make a mental note to let you know that she had, if you wanted to go back into last week's and say hi to her, right? But she's doing okay, and I'm so glad. Like, we were worried about Nancy's in the last weeks too, right? So we're glad now. David Lopez has checked in with us. Nancy has checked in, and it might be a while, right? So we're going to try not to worry, right? If we don't hear from you for a little bit, right? We're just going to hope for a miracle for you, right? That something comes through, something falls in your lap. You never know, right? You never know. Just the other day I was thinking, I was out metal detecting, and I thought, why do I love metal detecting? Maybe this thing is, I'm going to metal detect a big bar of gold. Well, it wouldn't be gold because my metal detector wouldn't pick up the gold, right? But a big stash of silver or old coins or something, right? A big treasure, right? Maybe that's why I love metal detecting, right? Because I'm a true believer that things are in your life for a reason, right? There are reasons why you grow up certain ways and why certain events happen in your life, right, Nancy? I bet Nancy truly believes in this, right? Right? Because I was thinking about this the other day, like all the things that you have done with all these experiences, terrible experiences too, Nancy, that you've had in your life. Just think of all the things that wouldn't have happened if those things hadn't happened to you, right? So how much good, right? Like even now, Nancy, you might not be here with us on this channel, right? If those things didn't help, right? Or didn't happen in your life, right? And all those people that you've helped and all those kindnesses and everything, they might not have happened because you would have had a different life, right? Oh, good, Andrew. Yeah, take a look for sure. Oh, I hate that idea of slaves. Hey, I just hate that idea. All through history, like all through history, people have always been trying to overcome other people. Always, right? Always. always step on somebody else to get ahead, right? To move yourself forward, step on somebody else, right? Yeah. And it's been like that, right? Thousands and thousands of years, and that's how we've evolved now, right? And all those characteristics that we had, right? That we built in ourselves as a survival, during the plague, during the wars that were, through histories, right? Yeah. And we do that, and it all carries over into these lives for sure. But yeah, it's I wouldn't even know where to begin. Like, I don't even understand that concept of bringing in, the immigrants. Like, for me, myself, in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, how wonderful is that, right? These poor countries that they actually have, some of those people have an opportunity to come up here and make a little bit of a living that they could take it home and support their family, right? And I think this way, right? Like, I think this way. I don't think of the negative aspect of, that they're coming up here and maybe, spreading the flu, or up here illegal, or taking jobs that other people could be doing, right, in their own countries, or taken away from the pensions and the benefits and a little bit of assistance to go out with those states, cities, or countries, poor and disadvantaged, right? It's I don't think that way, right? And I have to be reminded. Like, I wouldn't even be thinking that way, Nancy. It's just that you just reminded me of that, right? I would just be thinking, oh, how wonderful is that, right? How wonderful that they're bringing in immigrants from these poor countries to help them survive a little bit, right? But I guess that's the optimist in me, right? Always looking for the better of whys, right? Why things happen, but the best reasons as to why things happen, because things happen, and they're not always fair. And you know that just as well as anybody else, Nancy, right? Just as well as anybody else, how unkind people can be, right? How unkind life can be, right? And then how unkind ourselves can be, not just to ourselves, but to other people too, right? Yeah. See, and I've all been just studying this. I've been studying this for just ages now. I just find it absolutely fascinating. This emotional intelligence, they call it emotional intelligence, right? And I know that's the direction that it's all moving into, right? But it's really neat that it ties in with my curiosity and my creativity, right? And at the same time, maybe I'll be able to put a little bit of that goodwill out there myself, right? And do good for not other people, but you do good for yourself, right? Not just financially, but we're talking emotionally, right? Because we all feel good when we help each other out, right? Yeah. But yeah. So we're all in the same situation with the money, right? We're all in the same situation. I've got these rocks here, right? I've got these rocks here. They're from my trip from Toronto. I'd stop on the side of the highway and I would pick up all the most beautiful pebbles because it was raining, and when the rocks were wet, they were, oh, just the thought of it just makes me want to be out there, right? It just makes me want to go, just makes me want to hit the road, right? Right? But you just snap out of it, and you just smile, right? And things work out the way they're supposed to be. There's a reason why I don't have my car right now. The universe knows I want to be exploring, right? And it's not like I don't have it on my mind, and I haven't been trying to figure out ways to get back into a vehicle. And I did ask my sister, right? I did break down and ask her if I could borrow her car, but she said no. So you can't argue with her, right? Because she has her own ideas, right? She has her own life and her own beliefs, right? And it's not my job change her, but yeah, it would be nice to see. It would be nice to see some good changes in her, right? Because our family's been doing really good, even though we're not doing the same thing and we're not doing it together. We're all off doing our own thing, right? Right? But we're all providing service. All of us, we're all providing service, right? Yeah. Take care, Nancy. Take care. Yes, definitely lay down. And like I said, if we don't hear from you, we know what's going on. But yeah, try and get back on as soon as I can. You can. And if any miracles happen on my end, Nancy, you're always in my thoughts. Like I swear, right? Any sunshine comes my way, I'll try and throw that sunshine your way in the meantime, sending you lots of love, right? Lots of love, Nancy. Take care. Owen's here. Owen, you're coming at the tail end. We got like 5 minutes left. Yeah. Better late than never, right? Better late than never. Yeah, on Wednesdays I just go until 8:30 because I still have my post to finish for tonight, right? I still have my Instagram post. It's almost done, but I might change a few things because even from talking on my 2 lives tonight, I've even changed, right? I've even changed, and I've kind of have a different bit of insight than what I did this afternoon. And sometimes it goes that way, right? It's the insight. I can't determine, how many times I'm going to change in a year, let alone a month, a week, a day, an hour, right? Yeah. It's like I said, it's like second menopause all over again, right? Just trying to, yeah, keep it all together. But I think I've been doing a pretty good job, right? I've seen a lot of people go through what I go through and, not fare as well. And I've seen lots more who fared much better than me, right? But I'm trying to do this the right way, right? For me, there are a few things that I know. There are a few things that I know that I have to live by, and the rest of it, I just got to trust that I'll get the when it's time to do stuff like I get those, right? Right? Mm. Oh, you fell asleep. That's good though. Good that you got a nap in, right? But will you stay up all night? What do you do at night? Do you watch TV or do you watch movies? What do you do, Owen, at night? Because obviously if you fell asleep and took a nap, you're up for a good part of the night now, right? It's not like you're going to go to bed anytime soon, right? Mm. Nancy, go away. Go lay down already. Go lay down. She can't resist. That poor girl, right? Right? You know, and I say that like that, there's some people that were just born to be scapegoats or just born to be martyrs, right? You know, that some people just born to take on the woes of the world, right? So other people don't have to. And I've got a lot of those people on my channel, right? I've got a lot of those people in my life in actuality, right? Yeah. I would like to consider myself one of those too, right? I would like to consider myself one of those. I try, right? I don't always know whether I'm doing a good job or not, right? But all you can do is fly by your seat of your pants and then just be genuine, right? And kind-hearted and just remember that could be you that you're talking to, right? That could be you that you're talking to, right? I have the best moderators ever. I have the best moderators ever. Just wait, guys. Wait until like we have thousands of people in here, right? Like then you guys are going to be going crazy juggling, and then I'll have to put you on payroll, and then you'll have to quit your stupid jobs, right? How's that? Wow, Owen's at home, right? But yeah, wouldn't that be isn't that a great thing to think about, right? And you guys can all work for me. I don't know what kind of a boss I would be, right? But I wouldn't have to worry, right? Like I never worry, right? In my comments and stuff, right? And I always know that everybody's being pulled in and made to feel welcome, right? And then if anybody had any little issues and stuff, like I got the right people there, right? With the right answers for everybody. Yeah, I love my YouTube crew. I rave about you guys all the time on Instagram, trying to get everybody on Instagram to come over here, right? And I rave about you guys all the time over there. Yeah. Burden bearers, burden. You know what? That might even be in my post today. I think I used that word burdensome. Maybe that was yesterday's post, right? You know, I'm just gonna take a look here. Got another new subscriber here. I lately see I get a little bit braver now, right? That I'm able to put more of my thoughts as I come to know them, right? Because there've been so many changes. Like I said, it could be like changes like every hour. Like I don't even know whether I'm coming and going, right? Sometimes. Yeah, it's like I said, it's like menopause all over again. I think sometimes like a crazy lady, the amount of information that I take in, right. But I am very grateful for my posts, right. But yeah, this one's doing really well. Oh, it was in the post from the day before that, right. It was a post that I wrote called Bipped, but it's doing good, 95% or 85% more than the rest of the week. But I had a few of those posts this week that were doing quite well. But when they say they're doing quite well, they're really not doing that quite well. I'm getting my like getting like 20, no more than 20, 30, 40, right? And then on top of that, I don't know what I was going to say there. I don't know what I was going to say there, but yeah, but I'm not discouraged from it, right? Because I want to be more of who I am, right? I don't know where I'm exactly going. It's going to be some form of coaching, right? But it's a very high market out there. You have to be very, very good. The cream of the the cream of the crop, right? You have to be so good that people want to get a hold of you, right? That's how good you have to be, right? And I can boo-hoo about the experiences, and you guys too, right? You can boo-hoo about your experiences in life, right? But those were experiences that other people didn't have, right? And experiences that you guys learned from, right? That you could pass on to people that are having those same problems right now. And that's what I've been learning, right? And it's a big part of my brand like this, right? And yeah, again, I don't see I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired, right? Because I'm starting to have more questions than answers, right? When you have more questions, I know the mind is infinite, right? You can stuff it with as much, right? I could go think, and just not stop and not end up with any less room in there, right? But it's hard. It's hard for that emotional part, right? To take that beating all the time. Yeah. Oh, but yeah, no, don't even say anything like that. Sorry you're late. You don't have to be sorry you're late. What a silly thing to say, Owen. House cleaning. Yeah, I didn't do much. I've been enjoying doing my breakfast dishes in the morning, right? I Instead of doing dishes at nighttime, then I just let them sit in the sink overnight, and then in the morning when I'm making my cup of coffee, waiting for my coffee to be ready, then I enjoy washing my dishes and piddling around in the kitchen and stuff while I'm doing that. It's a nice little routine, and plus it gives a chance for the computer to warm up and just wipe down the desk if I need my desk wiped down, sweep the floor if I've eaten popcorn and I dropped popcorn on the floor or something, right? And I haven't had popcorn for almost 2 weeks now, right? No, just over a week. I haven't had any popcorn, right? But But I am happy. I'm not gaining that weight, but I do need new clothes. My clothes are so big. My clothes are all so big that I just look funny in them now, right? They hang all over me, or they make me look big. Like look at the sleeves on the shirts and stuff. And this one is actually a little bit smaller because this was a tight shirt to start with, right? And I liked it. I love hoodie shirts. Hoodie shirts are my favorites, right? Besides the Pakistani outfits, I like the Pakistani outfits, but yeah, hoodie shirts. You'll notice when I'm here, I do a lot of hoodie shirts, right? Hoodie shirts, yeah. I find them cozy, right? And in the wintertime, you can wear them under your coat, and then you have a little hood, right? A little, oh, that's a, reminds me of a movie. I'm trying to think. Red Room, right? Is that it? Yeah. Oh, they got a new Avatar coming out, do they? A new movie for the Avatar. I liked that movie. That what was it? Cameron. Oh, I can't remember his name. Right? Yeah, he was very very good. Yeah, that was his life work. Was that movie right? That was his that was his passion project, and it turned out to be like a huge hit. And that it was the one with the tall blue creatures that were kind of humanoid, right? And they lived in that like fantasy world and stuff, right? And yeah, he said that he wasn't going to make the movie until like he could technically do it, right, with digital age and stuff, right? Because it was too fantastical in his mind. And he actually, when those technologies were realized, he actually made that movie, right? So do you wear like a toque or something now, Andrew? I bought earmuffs. They got them for 99 cents. They were like regular $13 or something like that. A big winter clearance, right? So I got 6 pairs of gloves. I got 2 toques, right? And I got the earmuffs, all 99 cents each. It was a great deal, right? And I didn't need them. Well, I needed the toques, right? Because all my toques are little beanie toques. I used to like beanie toques, but they only come to here, right? So then my ears would always freeze. I would have the scarves, but the scarves wouldn't cover up the ears. So I needed toques that would cover the ears. And the only ones I had were my Elmer Fudd ones with the ear flaps, and they're so comfy. I love those toques. But I know I look silly in them. But they're very, very comfortable, right? Yeah. And I could go walking for the longest time, right? Even now, I miss my winter walking, right? I could go walking at 1 o'clock in the morning in wintertime, but because everything was white from the snow, it would be nice and light, right? It wouldn't feel like it was dark outside, right? Because everything was white. Yeah, it's funny. Spring's just starting, and I'm already a little bit, right? Just a little bit missing summer. But yeah, so it was pretty good. I went on that Zoom training today for my job placement, and yeah, it's fairly easy. I just needed to be reminded of it, right? On how to use it properly. And yeah, you're all welcome to come and visit me. And yeah, we could do Zoom meeting, or we could do, Google Hangouts or anything. Happy to connect and just have a chit chat, right? About anything too, right? And just we could just let it take off and just let it do its own thing, right? So you know what I mean, eh, Andrew? I like those ear flats. I don't care. In the wintertime, it's not a fashion contest. I wear my snow pants like every day. It's mandatory. I wear my snow pants, and yeah, I'm all about the warmth, right? I'm all about the warmth. Even this week, right? I did a little test, right? I because we're locked up in the house. I got up every morning. I have my little routines and stuff, but for 3 days, I didn't shower. I didn't shower. I didn't wash my hair. All I did was brush my teeth and wash my face for 3 days, right? I wanted to see, whether I would get rashes or tangles in my hair, or my skin would go bad, or if I would smell really bad or something, right? Right? And yeah, I felt pretty good today. I got into the shower today and I got out and I thought, yeah, I feel pretty good actually. That kind of worked out, So maybe if I'm not out there doing interviews, right? And if I don't have to work, maybe I could, go a few days without doing that kind, and then you're not washing off your good bacteria, right? Because we have a lot of good bacteria on our skin and in our hair, right? On our bodies. We have a lot of good bacteria. And then every time you take a shower, you're just washing that all off, right? And I'm not so sure that, the hand soap and stuff it's just lard, right? Lard and lye, right? So, how good is that? And you need the bubbles to get the makeup off and stuff. Like, I don't know. I give my face a good scrub every day, right? And if I'm wearing makeup, but I wash my face. I wash my face even if I'm not wearing makeup, right? It wakes you up and it wakes your skin up, right? And plus, if you've had your hands on your skin, right? If you have hands on your skin, like I'm doing now, I could be transferring, right, the bacteria to another part of my face, right, and causing me even more issues, right? Aw, I would love to have you come visit sometime, right? But I don't have a car or anything. It's not like we'd be able to do too much right now, right? But you can join me on my lives. I'm sure everybody would be happy to see you if you came on my lives, right? Like when Sharon came on my lives, when she came up here from California, right? Right? That was lots of fun having her. And she was so good on camera too. She was so good. She was so comfortable and she was so well prepared. She had her little books and her little notes and stuff, right? And pictures and stuff to show. Like she was really, really good. Like I would actually have even gone as far as to say that she would have done quite well with her own little channel. I don't know what her interest would have been at the time, right? But just just notifications. But yeah, I don't know what she would have done for a channel, but she would have done really, really well. I thought she did really well. Yeah, just to wake yourself up, right? And your skin absorbs the moisture. Your skin absorbs the water and stuff, right? Yeah. Okay, everybody, I went over a little bit only because Owen popped in late and I wanted to make sure that we spend a little time with Owen, right? But yeah, Sunday, we'll see everybody on Sunday. If you want to come and visit me on Instagram, I always do a post at 5 o'clock. I go live. I do a little live show, not for very long, for 25 minutes or so. I do a live show on Instagram. I called the show What's My Good Cheer. Isn't that a good name for a show? I named it on my Instagram show. It's called What's My Good Cheer. But yeah, if you want to come over there, you're more than welcome. If not, yeah, we're here on Sundays and Wednesdays for now. Wednesdays for now. I don't know. It all depends on my work. But if I'm going to be working at home, right? Perfect. Right? We'll work around it because I do want to add content. And I have to add content anyway, right? Because now the way they do the posts, I have to share them with my IG. So now I've got to do some stories now too. So yeah, instead of going backwards, I'm going forwards, which is exactly what I wanted to do. Okay, everybody, have a great night. We'll see you on Sunday. Bye-bye.